Hi everybody, it's me Lax, and I'm also known as Chino R. Artie. I am going to be doing a review, a very awkward review, and this review is very, I'm sorry, I gotta really drink some Pepsi. You gotta have it, you know? Pepsi's really good for you. A lot of sugar though. Also, you guys see me on my units of these guys and these guys, but now I'm back to my retro review. But after this review, I'm going to make another review of the ProScan 4.3 internet tablet, which is, to me, right now, I'll just say it's a piece of junk, but I'm going to go technical review on that one. Now, the review I'm going to be doing is actually a review called Shaq Food. I don't know if you remember that title. After the game's released the first month, after that first month release, it became a 1999 cartridge. And yes, it was developed by Electronic Arts. The Electronic Arts company was that was one of their biggest failure. And I gotta tell you guys the truth, when you guys play the Super Nintendo, it's a piece of rubbish. But the sound effects and the soundtrack was amazing. It sounds really good. Really good. But what happened was, then they made the Sega Genesis version, which was, it was decent. The Sega Genesis version was very, I gotta admit, I loved it, and it had the best soundtrack, but due to the fact of using a Sega Genesis sound chip, it was not, compared to the Super Nintendo sound chip, was a little more better. So, I'm telling you guys that when you look at, the Sega Genesis version, it's actually, it has more characters, and it also has more, more music and background, and more of a storyline. So I do have it on via emulator, and so this description is going to be in my emulator. So when you're listening to music, it's not as it was compared to the. Let me focus this tripod. Okay, there. Now, playing the game in 3-button mode is exactly, and the game is more faster. If you play the 3-button controller layout, it's just like, what do you call it, Street Fighter. You have to press start to swap from kicks and punches. Dual fight. Now, fighting on this, I recommend not to play Shaq. You just wasted your time, so you have to play Journey mode. In the first place, they could have just gave it a different ending, but this was a rush title, and Shaq tends to do a lot of things as an actor, basketball player. He's a basketball player. It's kind of like Manny Pacquiao too, It's another enthusiasm. He also plays basketball, actor, video game, rap music, comedian, you name it. Okay, and this game has more characters than before. It has Shaq. This is what it has, of course. It has her, Kiori, whatever. She's from the Super Nintendo. It has Beast from the Super Nintendo. It has Seth. And then it has Memphis. And then Nizu, and then Raja, reminds me of Prince of Persia. Liotsu, whatever. And then it has these new characters. This guy, him. But my favorite character is Colonel. And of course, Diesel. I like his boxing stance. But I'm going to play Colonel. Colonel has the best background music to the game, and it's very different. And yes, I do have the original cartridge. And the graphics is amazingly smooth, high refresh rate. And what do I think about the controls? The controls is very kind of unresponsive because it's true time motion captured characters. If you know the making of this game, and people thought that Shaq Fu would be like Mortal Kombat, it's not like Mortal Kombat. It's just that they motion captured Shaq literally to be in this game. So there we go. I like how Colonel looks. I used to dress up in green pants all the time just to look cool as him. So. Let me reset it. But as you can see, this game is really, really kicked back. I mean, like, I really like this game actually for the Sega Genesis. This is the best way to play Shaq Fu. You cannot play this game in any other console. I played it on the Super Nintendo. It was stupid. It was very bad on the Game Boy. It was not even featuring Game Boy Color style. And with my JHD products that I bought from ahappydude.com, I have a good time playing this game all the time with Sega Genesis Mega Drive emulator. And of course, when you buy the game, it does come with a soundtrack CD, which is only available on the Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis is a pure deluxe edition. So, look at the graphics, and it was well made, you know, graphics-wise, but the characters are very small. Okay, enough with this video game. Another emulation that I do have, it was from a 32X game. And this game was quite of ahead of its time. I mean, literally, it's called Spiderman Web of Fire. And during the release of this game was supposed to be production when they're gonna make that Canon. I don't know if you heard about that movie company called Canon. It was gonna be, they were gonna make Spider-Man the movie, but it ended up being Sony TriStar Pictures. Now this game is motion captured too as well, just like, you know, and it's a Sega game, of course. Now look at that, that's the Twin Towers. What the heck? Now look at the graphics on this, it's identical to Shaq Fu. I remember the music. So, now this game is alright. Now, the sound effects on this game was very, very good. And you can hear it in high stereo optic. And Shaq Fu, for that game, I gotta give it props for the Sega Genesis. You cannot play it in any other consoles. They even have it on the Game Gear. They even have it on the Amiga system. And the Amiga system is very, very, you know, a slower, but very, very slow computer. But yet it does run the game really smooth. They do have it on YouTube, so you can able to see the gameplay in action. But I really thank you guys for watching my YouTube channel, my retro review on the Shaq Fu, and plus the Spiderman Web of Fire that uses the same style of motion capture for 2D sprites. That was the intention of this video, that I wish they can make games like this more. Yes, the games back then were kind of outdated graphics with pixelated and shows true motion. I mean, if you look at Batman Forever for the PC, that is a good example of Mortal Kombat style, but I wish if Shaq Fu would have been digitized graphics, if they can remake that game, that would be a high on demand for me. I mean, that's for me though, but a lot of people can just criticize Shaq Fu because of his lousy controls supposedly, but it's a true time motion capture. I worked on the game called The Untouchable and Bikini Karate Babes, and that's an example of what the control scheme is supposed to be. Now they make the game more responsive when you're playing Tekken, but when you're playing Shaq Fu, that's a good example of a great fighting game with extra characters on the Sega Genesis. The Mega Drive Edition Sega Genesis is way better, way better than, of course, the Super Nintendo, but the Super Nintendo does have a better sound chip. And I wish to hear the Super Nintendo version to have the Sega Genesis features, hearing the music of Seth and Colonel's background music. Because the sound chip on the Sega Genesis is nothing compared to the Super Nintendo to make it more orchestrated soundtrack. But the Mega Drive is more original with its music. If you play Mortal Kombat 1, it's the best port you can play on the console-wise, while Mortal Kombat 2, it was draggy. But looking at the Sega Genesis, it's much more faster and better control schemes. Very responsive. So there is ups and flaws in between consoles of 16-bit. But of course the PC version is always better. And Shaq Fu was released on every platform, but why not the PC? But it did came out on Amiga. Put your comments below if you really are a Shaq Fu fan. If not, please put hate on it. You can thumbs down and up. Alright, and for that angry nerd guy, if he's really a video game nerd,